was in the shower when I smelled something burning. Holy smokes, was Mom cooking again? I grabbed the towel and rushed to the kitchen. There was a pan with milk overflowing on the stove, but Mom was nowhere to be seen. Mom! Mom!
D. Mom got a call and she left.
This was so typical of my mom. She was the most irresponsible woman on the planet. With her absent-mindedness, it's a wonder me and my little brother Noah were still alive. If you think I'm exaggerating, hear this. Once when I was 9 and Noah 1, she drove us to the supermarket and made us wait in the car while she grabbed some groceries. Minutes turned into hours, but she just didn't return. Noah started crying his lungs out, and I was in tears too. Thankfully, a kind gentleman lent me his phone to call her. Mom, how are you?
I'm at the movies, Dina. I met a friend at the supermarket and we both. Oh shoot, are you two still in the car?
So you get the idea, right?
D. I'm not feeling well.
Oh honey, what's the matter?
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Noah. I wasn't done showering anyway. You go lie down in your bed and I'll make you some hot cocoa after I get cleaned up, okay? Noah has a heart condition that makes him so weak, a surgery can cure him. But with Mom unable to hold a job longer than a month, we just don't have enough funds. But I am determined to do whatever it takes to get him treated. Oh, that reminds me. I'm getting late for work. I dropped out of school last summer, and now I set up a pizza stall outside this museum. And not to boast or anything, but it's quite a hit among people. You should see the long queue. Crappy piece of poop! You ruined all my pizzas!
Hey, Peanut! Pick a fight with someone your own size!
What are you calling a peanut, you butt face? Now just pay the damages, or get ready to have your intestines shoved up your throat! The biker guy laughed menacingly and took a step in my direction. But suddenly, a well-dressed guy stepped in and pushed him away.
Leave the girl alone, get going before I call the cops.
The biker guy shot me a furious look, fed away on a stupid bike.
Thank you would be nice.
Thank you? What for? Did you really have to butt in and ruin everything now he's gone without paying me anything for all this? I spent all my savings buying this oven and now it's broken. Oh God, what will I do? My brother's sick. I thought I'd take him to the doctor with today's earnings.
Hey, I'm sorry. I can pay you. How much do you need?
Listen, mister.
Travis?
Yeah, whatever. I don't want your charity.
No, please, I insist.
If you really want to do something for me, give me a freaking job or just buzz off. I knew no one in their right brains would hire a high school dropout, right? Wrong. Apparently, Travis did have a job for me, and a wacky one at that. He wanted me to act as his fiancé for a weekend in front of his family, and in return, he offered to pay for Noah's surgery.
My grandma is seriously ill. Doctors have given her just a few more weeks to live, and her last wish is to see me engaged.
So, you're okay with deceiving her this way? I'm sorry, but I don't want to be a part of this.
Well, at this point, I'd do anything to see her smile.
Travis sounded like he really cared for his grandma, and I could still remember Noah's pale face from that morning. So, somewhat reluctantly, I agreed to the deal. Now, before you find out if I regretted my decision or not, just go like and subscribe to the channel. Now that weekend, when Travis came to pick me up in his Lamborghini, Mom's eyes literally popped out of her head.
D, when are you going to tell me your boyfriend is loaded?
She rushed out and practically fell on Travis as he got out of his car.
Are these for my beautiful, charming daughter? She loves lilies and she loves diamonds too. And designer handbags, shoes, limited edition watches.
Mom, no one needs you inside.
Oh yes, of course. You two have fun and, before you leave, do you have a private jet? I mean, Dee loves beach holidays with me and Noah. So,
Mom, I've never seen a beach my entire life.
He can take you.
I practically pushed Mom inside the gate and got into Travis's car.
Your mom is interesting.
I think you mean impossible.
Ha 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 ha. Anyway, these are for you. Just a friendly gesture. I thought since we're supposed to be an engaged couple, we might at least be on cordial terms. Also, I wanted to warn you, my mom could be a little, intimidating. Don't let her get to you.
Awesome, now I'm even more nervous. Minutes later, when we reached Travis's home, my jaw literally hit the floor. The place was a freaking palace. Travis dropped me at the main entrance and went to park his car in the garage. That's when I heard a shrill voice.
Hey, you get lost. We don't need anything you're selling.
But what if I'm selling manners? Surely you could do with a little of those.
How dare you?
Mom, I see you and Dina have met already.
Dina? So this is your fiancé? You keep shocking us, Travis.
Mom, Dina's an amazing chef. She makes excellent pizzas and...
Oh, I'm sure beneath that hideous outfit, she must have a lot of personality, but I'm not really interested right now.
Wow, what a rude snob. Travis's mom was a real nightmare, but his grandma was the complete opposite. She was the sweetest woman I'd ever met, and my heart melted to see how much she adored her grandson. That evening, while we were having dinner, Travis's mom kept shooting me death flares, but thankfully his grandma kept the conversation going.
So, you and Travis met in school, Dina?
No, I dropped out of school last summer. Actually, I had to set up a pizza store to earn money. Suddenly, Travis's mom started coughing, as if she was choking or something. So I immediately got up and gave her sharp blows in the back.
What are you doing? Don't break my back.
Are you feeling better? Once I choked on a coin, and this is how my mom saved me.
Why the heck were you eating a coin?
I wasn't eating it. I was just hiding it in my mouth so I could get my brother and myself an ice candy later on. You know those cheap ice candies? Before I could even finish, Travis's mom got up and walked off mid-meal. What? Did I say something wrong?
No, nothing at all.
For some reason, Grandma and Travis burst out laughing, and I joined them too. That night, Grandma called me and Travis to her room.
Dina, Travis is just like his grandpa. Gentle but impulsive. I was worried he'd rush into a relationship and then probably regret it, but after meeting you, I can see he's made the right choice.
She then took out a box from under a pillow and gave it to me. Inside, it was an exquisite emerald bracelet.
This is my most prized possession. Travis's grandpa gave it to me on our wedding night. Want you to have it now.
Oh no, I can't take this.
Please. I've always intended to give it to Travis's fiancé.
I looked at Travis, and he gestured to me to keep the box. So I took it, and I thought I'd return it to him once we got back. The rest of the weekend went by in a blur. Travis was funny and kind, and I kind of developed a small crush on him. And by the way he looked at me, I guess he liked me too. The day Travis dropped me at home, he told me he'd scheduled Noah's surgery in the coming week at the city's biggest hospital. Little did I know I was in for the biggest shock ever. On the day of the surgery, as the nurses were taking Noah to the operation theater, I was asked to get the bill settled. I started to panic a bit. I called Travis, shot him multiple messages, but no response. Where the heck was Travis? Was he okay? And how the heck was I going to pay for the surgery without him? That's when I thought of Grandma's bracelet. I sell it. I get enough money to cover the hospital bills. No! How can you do this, Dina? You know how precious that bracelet is to Grandma, but do you really have a choice? You honored your end of the deal, and if Travis isn't here to honor his, you've got to do this. Feeling utterly helpless and desperate, I decided to go to the jeweler. His eyes lit up on seeing the bracelet, and the price he quoted for it was more than enough to cover the hospital bills. When I returned to the hospital, my heart was aching. But when I approached the billing counter, they informed me the bill had been settled already. What? Who paid for it?
I've no idea, ma'am, but the system shows your dues have been cleared.
I almost cried with joy. And then a nurse told me Noah's surgery was a success. I rushed to see him. Noah, how are you feeling, baby?
My chest hurts, but doctor says I'll be okay in a week and I can go running in the park like other kids.
Of course, darling. Now you rest while I go out and call Mom. I walked out of the room to see Travis and his mom walking towards me. Travis, I can't believe you decided to show up now when everything is over. Do you have any idea what you put me through?
Whoa, calm down. What's wrong?
What's wrong? You knew it was Noah's surgery today and you simply vanished without a trace.
Grandma got sick last night, so we had to fly her to London, but I told Mom to inform and take care of the bills and everything.
Which I did, of course.
No, you did not. I was scared to death figuring out how I'd pay the hospital all by myself.
Stop lying, girl. The bill has been paid.
So you did, but only in the last 1 hour. Just then Mom walked in on all the drama.
My daughter can be stubborn, rude, and a lot of other things, but she is not a liar.
Oh, look who's here! The gold digger's mom. I bet you tricked my son into buying you this designer handbag, just like your daughter tricked him into paying for that kid's surgery.
This bag is fake just like your hair and your lips.
You witch! If your daughter is so honest, ask her where is the bracelet that my mom-in-law gave her.
My face turned white at the bracelet's mention. How the heck did she know? It's with me.
Oh, really?
His mom took out her phone into my shock and horror. She showed us pictures of me with the jeweler holding the bracelet.
See, Travis, this shameless girl sold our priceless family heirloom for money.
I looked at Travis and he looked completely shook. Travis, trust me, it's not what it looks like. You know I can never do this, right?
I don't know. Dina proof is right here, and you still want me to trust you?
Oh, I see. I thought you knew me better than this, but I guess we don't know each other at all. I opened my bag and fished out the bracelet. Yes, I did take it to the jeweler, but I couldn't bring myself to sell it. I know I could survive a few days more without the surgery, but I knew if this bracelet was lost, Grandma probably wouldn't be able to take it. Travis looked guilty and tried to apologize, but I'd had enough. We had a deal, and both of us honored it. Now let's move on with our lives. After that day, Travis tried to reach me many times, but I shut him off. Except that I did go for his grandma's funeral. With Noah fully recovered, I just wanted to focus on getting into a good culinary school. And, by God's grace, I did manage to get into one. The next 2 years, I worked my butt off and finally opened my own restaurant. On the opening weekend, I was busy talking to a customer when I saw a familiar face. Travis! What a surprise!
Congratulations, Dinah. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. What would you like to have?
A chance to start all over again would be nice.
Hi, my name is Laura and I'm from Texas. Please like and subscribe. I live with my granny, and she's pretty much the only person I'm close with on this planet. After my parents passed away, she took me in and brought me up. However, growing up, I didn't have many companions. I was always dedicated to my academics, and that's how I managed to secure a scholarship at one of the top schools in the city. But events took an unexpected twist in the 10th grade. It all began when I chose to ride my bike to school one day. Just as I was about to park it, I stumbled over something. My bike then collided with a nearby car. Shoot! The car looked really expensive, and now it had a dent the size of an elephant. I was the queen of broke people. I'd never be able to pay for the damage. I had to get out of here. But just then, 2 evil-looking shadows showed up behind me, and one of them caught me.
Look at that! She ruined your car and now she's running from the crime scene.
Holy Jesus, not the terrible 2. John and Arthur were the 2 richest and hottest kids in school. However, everyone was afraid of them because they were notorious bullies. And now I had crashed into their car. This was the worst day ever. I wasn't running and I didn't ruin it on purpose, I just accidentally.
Oh, Kitty. Accidentally or not, you're gonna have to pay for this.
Listen, man, I can't pay for it. You want my bicycle? You can have that.
You're making jokes now? You better arrange the money or else.
Oh God, what was I gonna do about these bullies? And then I recalled seeing them harassing a kid really badly after school recently, so I just blurted out, I know your secret, and I'm gonna tell it to the principal.
What secret?
I know what you guys did last Monday! For a moment, they looked shocked, but then John screamed.
What? How? How do you know that?
Judging from their freaked out faces, I could tell it was something significant, and they believed I knew about it. This was perfect. Well, I'm not going to tell you here. I'll tell you in front of the principal. Let's go now.
No, wait, we can talk this out.
Yeah, and you don't need to pay for anything here. Let me check. If your bike's broken, I'll buy you a new one. As many as you want. We'll do anything you say. We'll be your errand boys. But please, just don't tell anyone.
What in the father freaking world? The 2 most powerful senior guys in school were totally at my mercy. And I didn't even know why, but I pretended to keep it cool because I didn't want them to know I was bluffing. Sure. Then how about you start with carrying my bag? It's so heavy. My hand hurts. As I went around school that day with these 2 acting like my personal bodyguards, kids were looking at me like I was a magician who had the terrible 2 wrapped around my finger. The next day, as I stepped out of my house, John was already waiting for me in his brand new car. This was just getting better.
Hey, I'm here to pick you up. So tell me, Do you want to go to the beach today or the movies?
What? No, I want to go to school and attend my classes. I have to submit my assignments next week.
Aw, come on, Laura! You should enjoy yourself and not study so hard. Arthur can do your assignments. He does mine all the time. No big deal.
That sounded good. But I wasn't sure if I trusted them enough to hang out with them outside school. What if they planned to kidnap me because of whatever their stupid secret was? So I insisted on going to school. When we reached there, they kept following me around. At first, it felt like I was some princess. But as the day went by, I realized this was a big problem. I had ballet practice after lunch, and just as I entered the girls' changing room, all the girls started screaming. When I turned around, I was stunned to see those two morons had followed me in. Have you both lost it? This is the girls' changing room.
All the more reason for us to be here, right, Arthur?
I pushed them out and locked the door from inside. But when I went to the dancing room, they were already there, dressed in ballerinas' clothes and dancing like toads. What the freaking crabs? What are you guys doing? You don't have to follow me everywhere.
Yes, we do. We can't risk it. What if you go and tell the principal behind our back?
I won't do that.
Well, guess what? We don't trust you.
They just wouldn't leave. And when it was my time to perform, they both started cheering and hooting like they were my craziest fans. What could be the big secret that was making them do all these things to keep me from going to the principal? But as much as I wanted to know, I wanted to get rid of them too. The next day, I left home before they could get here. And even at school, I was on my toes watching out for them. Then during lunchtime, this football jock at school who I had a huge crush on came and sat next to me.
You're the popular girl who tamed those rich brats. And I'm impressed. I like strong and dominating girls. Like you. How about we go, ow?
Arthur picked him up by the collar and threw him out of the seat.
How about I give you a taste of strong and dominating guys?
Arthur, stop! What are you doing? As soon as Arthur let him go, he just ran away. Ugh, why did you do that? He was gonna ask me out?
He asks everyone out. He's a jerk.
Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? You're the bigger jerk here. With that, I pushed him aside and stormed out of there angrily. Later that day, I was in the library when I saw that football jock kissing some girl behind a bookshelf. Arthur was right. He really was a jerk. I picked up a book and tossed it right at his head.
Ouch!
Well, he deserved it. After that, I went back to solving my math assignment, but I was getting none of the answers correct.
Easy there, Tigress. Let me help you with those.
Help me? Do you even know the— Whoa, how did you do that? I was stunned that this guy, who looked like he probably bought his grades with his dad's money, was actually good at studying. He helped me with my assignments, and honestly, I was starting to feel that he wasn't so bad after all. Just as I was about to apologize for calling him a jerk earlier, John barged into the library.
Thanks for keeping an eye on her while I was away.
Of course. Arthur was just here to babysit me. I felt so dumb thinking he might be nice 2 seconds ago.
So, who's ready to go and watch the new Spider-Man movie?
OMG! I'd been waiting for this movie for months. I screamed so loud with excitement that the librarian kicked us all out. Later that evening, when we stepped out of the movies, it was pretty chilly. Suddenly, Arthur took off his jacket and wrapped it around me. Such a good actor he was. I knew if it wasn't for their secret, he wouldn't care even if I was screaming for help. Soon after, he ran ahead to get the car, and that's when John took my hand and suddenly pulled me close. Whoa, what are you doing?
Aw, come on. I can clearly see you're interested in me. That's why you're playing the blackmail game to keep me close.
What? In your dreams?
That attitude of yours, it's just got me going crazy for you, babe. How about you give me a kiss, now?
This jerk. I was about to push him really hard when suddenly Arthur pulled him away and punched him hard in the face. John landed on his butt.
How dare you touch her?
What the heck, dude? Did you forget who you are? You're a stinky lowlife rat who lives off my leftovers. And how dare you touch me?
Lowlife rat, what was he talking about?
I know who I am, but don't you dare touch her again. Because if you do, I'll shove those leftovers down your throat.
Whoa! It seemed like Arthur was a whole different person. He took my hand, and then we both left from there. All the way back home, he didn't say a word, and I could feel there was something about him that I didn't know. I was getting more and more curious. When we reached home, I handed him his jacket back, and I just couldn't stop myself. Arthur, why did John say all those things about you? I mean, you're rich too.
No, I'm not, Laura. I know it looks like that because I'm always hanging out with John, but I'm a poor nobody.
I don't really understand.
My dad used to work for John's dad, but he passed away a few years back, and I have a sick mom to take care of. John convinced his dad to take us in, and he helps me with money. But basically, since then, I have to do everything he asks me to do.
Oh boy. My heart sank listening to that, and suddenly I just hugged him tight. Thanks for doing what you did for me today, Arthur, and I'm sorry.
Don't be. He totally deserves it. But I really wish you'd never seen us do it. And then you wouldn't be involved with jerks like us.
Seen what? Suddenly he looked at me with surprise. The secret he was talking about, the big secret? Oh yeah, totally saw that.
Wait a second. You don't know what it is, do you? Now that I think about it, you never really mentioned it, because you don't know what it is.
I panicked, and then you guys assumed I knew your secret.
Laura, how can you even do something like this, knowing how bad John is? If he knows you don't know, he'll... Oh God, I can't believe this.
He stormed off angrily, and now my heart was pumping like crazy for what was going to happen next. The next day, when I reached school, I saw Arthur was still hanging out with John. But his face was full of bruises, like someone had hit him really bad. Of course, it was John. Later, when Arthur was all alone in the boys' washroom, I went in. Why are you letting him treat you this way? I know it's John who beat you up.
What are you doing here? And I told you I owe him. Just stay out of it. I don't want you getting hurt.
But you're willing to get hurt all alone? This is wrong, Arthur. You can't let him ruin your life like this. What he's doing to you and the other kids around school, this has to stop.
Yes, but there's nothing I can do.
You can. You've always been with him. You know everything he does. You can go and tell the principal all about it.
But I was there with him in everything he did. I helped him. If I rat him out, I'll be out of school, and I'll be on the streets with my mom.
Just then, John came out of nowhere and pinned me against the wall.
So you're planning to ruin me, huh? You have no idea who you're messing with, little birdie.
And you have no idea who you're messing with, you ugly crow. I smashed my head hard into his face, and he fell to the floor crying in pain. Arthur grabbed my hand, and we ran out of there.
I'm going to the principal. You're right. I can't be a coward and let him hurt everyone like this. Especially you, Laura. I'll deal with the outcomes later.
I'll be right there with you. We went into the principal's office, and Arthur confessed everything, from John's bullying incidents to the biggest secret of all. After the principal had told John he was going to fail in most of his subjects, John trashed the principal's brand new car. One evening, he smashed the windows and the lights and spray painted all over it, with Arthur's help. The principal immediately called John in and said he was going to be expelled. Since Arthur had confessed everything, he was going to be suspended for a while and made to do volunteer work. And suddenly, John turned to Arthur.
You filthy moron! I fed you and you backstabbed me. You're done too, Arthur. Even if you aren't expelled, you can't stay in this school without me paying your fee. And your mom? Who's gonna pay for her treatments now? It would have been better if you had kept following my orders like a loyal puppy, and now you're doomed.
And that's when John's dad walked in looking horrified.
That's enough. I had no idea I was raising such a brat. How dare you exploit this poor kid? Arthur, don't you worry, son. I'm here for you.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Not a word. Your principal told me everything on the phone, and the rest I've heard myself. I'm sending you to an army school right away.
John kept begging his dad, but it didn't seem like it was going to work in his favor. When Arthur and I walked out of the room, I turned to him and said, "How do you feel?"
Never been better. Thanks to you, Laura, I was able to be brave.
I'm just so happy things will be better for you. So now that there's no secret, are you still going to be nice to me?
Yeah, I'll carry your bag every day.
And then he pulled me in for a kiss. Hi, I'm Emery, and this is my story. But before I continue, please like and subscribe. When I was a kid, my parents always fought a lot. Mom got so fed up that she yanked me out of bed one night and snuck me out the door. Mom, I'm sleepy. I want to go to bed.
Shh. Quiet.
The next thing you know, we'd moved to a tiny apartment in a strange town, and I hated it. I screamed and cried for Mom to take us back home. Take me back! This is whack! I tried reaching out to my dad, but he was always too busy. That made me sad. But Mom found ways to cheer me up. Eventually, I got used to our new place, and hanging out with Mom was pretty cool. After a while, Mom met someone new. Soon they were married, and we moved into a new house. My stepdad was nice, but his daughter was a witch.
Hey Naomi, welcome your new mom and stepsister.
Welcome them. You, Dad, they're poor. Why are we keeping them here and feeding them? They're disgusting and gross.
Haha, she's just kidding. She's a little shy. She's a sweetheart once you get to know her.
Naomi was the worst. She threw ketchup in my face, turned the lights off when I was reading, tossed my clothes out the window, and stole all my toys. I tried to tell my mom what was going on.
Hey babe, we're guests here. Naomi is a bit spoiled, but we have to learn to accept her.
Thank God Naomi and I didn't go to the same school. Naomi went to an expensive school for brats, and I begged my mom and stepdad to let me stay at my old school. But a few years later, things took a turn. My stepdad's company lost a ton of money and he couldn't keep up with the bills.
Girls, money is tight, so we'll have to enroll both of you in public school.
Public school? No!
Naomi threw the biggest tantrum and refused to eat for a week, though I caught her sneaking cookies from the kitchen at night. On the first day of school, Naomi acted like a total spoiled brat.
Hey everyone! You may see this girl talking to me, but that doesn't mean we're related. She's just our maid.
No, she's our maid.
No, she's our maid.
No, she is our maid.
No, she's our maid.
Naomi and I fought all the time. We shouted at each other in the hallway, had a food fight in the cafeteria, and one time during science class, we started shoving each other and accidentally hurt the teacher who was trying to separate us. She ended up with a broken nose. The kids thought we were insane. Neither of us had any friends. I mean, I couldn't blame them. Naomi was a crazy witch and I'm cool, but shy and weird and insecure and invisible. So yeah, after weeks of being outcasts, we grew a bit closer. Just a bit. 'Cause we were lonely, and we only had each other. Then one day in first grade, our parents sat us down to give us some news.
We're gonna have a baby.
Oh really? That's cool!
A baby? Why would you go and do a stupid thing like that?
The baby came and my parents were so happy.
A beautiful little boy.
Isn't he precious? Let's call him Sam.
I fell in love with Sam immediately, even though he was annoying. He cried a lot and peed all over the place. Naomi avoided Sam like the plague. She'd lock herself in her room and only came out to eat.
Look at his stupid, dirty face. Oh my God. Why is he throwing food everywhere?
I played with Sam every day.
You're so good with him. Honey, could you watch Sam while Dad and I run some errands?
Sure, no problem. As time went on, Mom and Dad started leaving him with me all the time. Eventually, I was Sam's permanent babysitter. When Sam turned 2, he turned into a maniac. He drew on the walls with crayons, smashed an expensive vase, and poured milk in my dad's office drawer. And they blamed me every time.
That vase cost a fortune. I'm taking it out of your allowance.
But it's not my fault.
I told you so.
Told me what?
That the brat was a bad idea. It's only gonna get worse.
And Naomi was right. One day, I had a huge chemistry test and told my parents way in advance that I needed to study. But they still shoved Sam in my face and just left. I'd had enough. I dropped Sam off in Naomi's room and headed out the door.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm done with this family. I'm out of here.
You can't just leave me with this thing.
Watch me. Look, Sammy, she has cookies. Sam grabbed Naomi and I walked out the door.
No, get away. Leave me alone. Help.
I hopped on the bus and went straight to my dad's. He was out of town when I got there, so his maid let me in. For the first time in a long time, I had peace and quiet. My mom and stepdad freaked out when they found out I'd left, but I refused to come back. In school the next day, Naomi ran up to me looking crazy.
I can't take it. Please come back home.
I thought you hated me?
I do, but Sam's a demon. He tore up all my clothes and flushed my makeup down the toilet.
Sounds like you're getting a taste of your own medicine. I turned to walk away, but then Naomi started bawling like a big baby.
Please, I'll do anything. Just come back home.
Okay, maybe I'll come back, but on one condition. You have to do what I say when I ask.
No way. I'm not your maid.
You won't be my maid, you'll be my assistant.
That's even worse.
Take it or leave it. Naomi reluctantly agreed. But even if she hadn't, I'd have moved back anyway because I missed my little Sam. The thought of him being ignored by my shallow parents and selfish Naomi made me sick to my stomach. I moved back in, and whenever our parents left us with Sam, I'd set up a schedule, so Naomi and I shared the responsibilities. Things were great for a while, but they took a turn. When Sam turned 10, he stole my mom's diamond ring and gave it to his classmate to impress her.
A pretty ring for a pretty girl?
Are you crazy? I can't take this.
Sam got so mad he punched the girl in the face. Then he sold Mom's ring to his friend.
I'll give it to you for $50.
40!
Deal!
One day, Sam's teacher called my parents in for a meeting. Of course, they were too busy to go and sent me and Naomi instead.
We came because our parents have leukemia. Oh my god!
No, she means anemia.
No, I think I meant amnesia. They're getting old and crazy.
They're just sick, and we came instead of them. Can you tell us what the problem is?
Sam gave one of his classmates a black eye. He broke a window, and he's been terrorizing the other students.
When we got home, I went straight to Sam's room. We need to talk about what's going on with you in school.
I'm busy.
If you keep this up, you might get expelled.
Get out!
Sam slammed the door in my face. He was very stubborn, but I wanted to help him. When my mom and stepdad came back that night, Naomi and I told them everything.
It's those mean kids. They hate me. And they're always making fun of me because I don't have nice things.
Oh, darling, we're so sorry.
We'll buy you new clothes.
Then Mom took Sam on a shopping spree. I couldn't believe they fell for his act. Later that night, my parents went out of town for a business dinner, and Naomi and I were watching Avatar World videos in my room when Sam appeared out of nowhere.
Hey, stupid witches, you're gonna pay for telling on me.
Get out of the way, psycho! We're trying to watch TV.
Sam pulled out a huge jar of crickets from behind his back and smashed it onto the floor. The crickets landed in our hair and all over our clothes.
Ha ha ha! Get them, my pretties!
A couple of months later, Mom and Stepdad called us into the living room to tell us we were moving into a brand new, fancy house.
So wait, we're rich again?
Yes, we have twice as much money as we had before.
Thank God! I hated being poor.
Now I can go to a fancy college.
Only the best for my daughter.
A month later, Naomi left for college in another city. I could have gone away too, but I was too worried about Sam. So I got enrolled in a college close to home. But soon after, my stepdad enrolled Sam in an expensive private school, and he started hanging out with these spoiled rich kids. I had to make sure that he didn't get into some big trouble. In my sophomore year, I was reading in the park one day when suddenly I gave him my hoodie, and we ended up talking for a while. I hadn't even realized 2 hours had gone by. Oh shoot, I gotta go. I gotta check in on my little brother.
So how? How do I get your hoodie back to you? Maybe I could take you out for dinner tomorrow?
Oh, I'm sorry, but with the university and some things at home, I really don't have time to date.
Gotcha. Well, here's my number. Just let me know where I can drop it then.
He started walking away and so did I. But a part of me felt like I was doing the wrong thing. Hey, wait! How about a coffee tomorrow?
Sounds like a good place to start.
Alex and I started dating, and being with him just made me happy. For the first time, it felt like someone was noticing what I needed and was taking care of me. But things at home with Sam just kept getting worse. He was skipping classes and getting detention all the time. And then some creepy guys started coming around the house looking for Sam when my parents weren't home. When I asked him who they were, he just told me to mind my business. Then one night, Sam came home with a bruised face. Are you okay? What's going on?
I'm fine, sis. I can take care of myself.
Sam, I can't be your babysitter forever. I have a life of my own, and one day I'll just leave.
Then leave. My life, my choices. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change.
Then he just hugged me and cried. The next morning I tried to talk to him, but he was already gone. I'm worried about Sam. I think something's going on with him.
You worry too much, honey. Sam's fine.
Have you seen his face?
He said he got hurt during football practice.
Soon after I graduated, Alex proposed. And I was over the moon! I'd have to move out, but I would only be 10 minutes away from Sam. Not that he seemed to care much either way. And on my wedding day, Sam was nowhere to be found. I kept calling him, but I couldn't get through. And we couldn't postpone the ceremony any longer. I felt so upset that he had missed this. But 2 hours later, I finally got a panicked call from Sam asking me to pick him up from some bad neighborhood. You're not a baby anymore. You just ruined one of the most important days of my life. I've always been there for you, and you couldn't even be there for me, even today. I started to give up hope of fixing him. I was fighting a battle alone, a battle that wasn't mine, and my parents just made things worse. Sam failed high school, but my stepdad paid the school board to give him passing grades. It made me so mad, but I had no say in the matter. Then one day, the company I worked for gave me an amazing job promotion if I moved to California. It was a great opportunity, but I felt unsure. Alex supported me either way, but I tossed and turned all night, thinking about what to do, and finally called Naomi.
You've got one life, Emery. You can either live it for Sam or live it for yourself.
Sam had started interning at his dad's firm, but I observed him for some weeks and saw that he still had the same kind of friends and was still blowing money and partying the same way. And I finally made my decision.
What? You're going to California? That's across the country. I need you here, Emery.
No, not really. You only need me around to clean up your messes. But I'm done doing that. Sam, you were right. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change.
Emery, please. You're all I have.
You've got Mom and Dad, and they'll take care of you in their own way. You're their kid. I just can't be your parent anymore.
But you're my big sister.
And I'll always be there for you as that. So when you decide to fix your ways, come and see me, okay? I love you, Sam, but I'm leaving. It's time.
Hi friends, my name is Subin and I'm from Korea. Please like and subscribe. When my mom was pregnant with me, so was her best friend.
When our kids are born, they'll be buddies just like us.
And Ben and I were growing up. He was my pal. One time, Ben and I were playing and he was running after me. Then he accidentally nudged me and I fell down the stairs. I hit my head. But before I could cry, Ben started wailing.
No, Subin! Oh my God, it's all my fault. Does it hurt? Let me pick you up. Gosh, you're heavy. Subin! Are you okay?
Ben? I'm fine, really. Saying that I hugged him. Ben was such a softie. I did get an infinity stone on my forehead, like Vision, but I didn't blame Ben. He was the best, and I wished we'd always be together. But when I was 5, Ben and his parents had to move to France for a work opportunity. And I missed him so much. As if things couldn't get any worse. Dad suffered a huge loss in his business soon after. Slowly, I saw how bad Mom and Dad's relationship was getting because of money problems. And after a few years, Mom left us. But Dad always tried to make me happy. We were so short on money that we had to shop at thrift stores, but he spent hours looking for the things I'd like.
Look at this jacket, Subin. It has rhinestones. You love rhinestones.
It is pretty, Daddy.
See? I told you we'd find some good stuff here.
Since I was a good student, I got a scholarship at my school and relieved Dad of that burden. I worked hard and was a top student. I needed to keep the scholarship. And when I was in the 10th grade, something awesome happened. Ben and his parents had returned to town and moved into a big mansion. And seeing Ben on the first day of school after summer vacation, my heart started beating fast. And then he swept me into his arms.
Subin! Oh my God, you haven't changed a bit!
But you have. You're so tall and wow, whoa, so muscular. Ben and I were in the same class and we started hanging out together all the time. But I soon realized he was getting way too much attention from all the girls, especially Haran. And she was the worst. She acted like she owned the whole town just because her mom was the mayor. And to my horror, Ben and Haran soon started dating. I hated her. But for Ben's sake, I pretended to be nice, and she did the same. She acted like a saint in front of Ben, but not when he wasn't around. She'd do petty things like pull out the chair when I was about to sit, and she would always comment on my clothes and appearance.
I'm saying all this for your benefit. No one likes a girl who looks so poor.
I'd rather be poor than a jerk like you. Gosh, what did Ben ever see in that witch? One time for lunch, Ben had gotten the yummiest pizza, and we were enjoying it when Haran came and hugged him tight.
Oh, I missed you so much in art class. Why didn't you join it, Benny Wenny?
You know I'm a science guy, babe. Here, wanna have some pizza?
She refused, and then Ben packed the leftovers and told me I should take them home because he was full. Dad and I never ordered out much, and I was happy to share it with him. A few weeks later, it was Ben's birthday, and he invited me to his place. I saw how Ben and Haran were dancing so close to each other, and it made me feel so jealous. I went to the balcony for some fresh air. After a while, I was headed back inside when Haran and some of her friends came, and I hid behind a plant.
You've really got yourself a hot boyfriend this time, Haran. Yeah, he's totally wrapped around my fingers. He adores me and gives me the best gifts. There's just one problem. His miserable beggar friend. Oh, I really hate her. You know, Ben cares for her so much that he gets her favorite pizza for lunch every day and pretends to be full so she can take the leftovers home. He really pities her and she has no shame. She could probably live on his charity forever.
Why would Ben tell her something like that?
What? So pathetic.
Wiping my tears, I just ran back home. After that date, I sort of ignored Ben, even though he asked me if something was wrong a million times. I just didn't need his pity or his charity. When we were in our senior year, our teacher announced a science tournament and the winning team was going to get an amazing cash prize. Dad and I could always use the money, so I immediately signed up for it and I was paired with Ben. I tried to get my partner changed, but the teacher said it was final.
So you want to come over to my place to brainstorm some ideas?
No thanks.
Hey, Subin. I don't know why you stopped talking to me, but come on. This is a great opportunity. Let's do this together, please.
I knew Ben was a science genius and being paired with him was probably the best thing. So I reluctantly agreed. We came up with some really cool ideas and I ended up at his place almost every day to work on them. But I noticed how his mom was never around. A few times I asked about her, but he'd always ignore the question. But one time, Ben and I were at a park near his home, and he asked me the strangest question.
Subin, do you ever miss your mom? Does she call you? How does it feel to live with just one parent?
I never really thought about it. I guess it's not so bad knowing how much my dad loves me. It's not exactly a secret that we don't have much money, but he goes out of his way to make me happy. I don't know how to live with two parents, but the one I have, I love to bits.
That's really sweet, I asked because, well, my mom, she isn't well. She's going through treatment. Sometimes it's really hard to see her like that.
Oh God, Ben, I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was going through such a rough time.
Subin, why'd you stop talking to me?
Taking a deep breath, I told him what happened at his birthday party.
Subin, Heron kind of twisted my words. Yeah, I told her you guys were going through a tough time, but because you're my friend and I care about you, not because I pity you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have discussed it with her at all.
Saying that he came close and swept my bangs aside.
You still have the scar. I was so scared that day. I'm so sorry, Subin.
Hey, it was a long time ago, and it kind of reminded me of you. When you were away, Ben looked at me like he might kiss me, but he suddenly snapped his fingers.
Bazinga! I just got a brilliant idea for our project.
And he sure did. Just a few more adjustments and our model worked. We came first at the science competition, and Ben gave all the prize money to me, saying I did the hard work. It wasn't true, and I knew he was just being kind. Why did such a nice guy have to be with Haran? But then Ben told me one day that he was going to break up with Haran soon. My heart was jumping with excitement, but I pretended to be sad. And when Ben broke it to Haran, the girl had a complete meltdown. She took a bat and smashed all the notice boards around the school during her psycho rampage. Haran suddenly spotted me and was coming right at me, but Ben stepped in between.
Stop making a fool of yourself, Haran. It's over.
You're doing this because of her! Because of this poor, ugly bimbo!
Subin's my best friend, and she's special to me. Don't insult her again.
Haran stomped off furiously, and I was left dazed. Ben just said I was special to him. Whoa. I was on cloud 9, and I just needed to confess my love to my best friend. I didn't have the guts to say it to his face, and we didn't have phones, so I wrote him a letter. Dear Ben, I saw you for the first time in kindergarten, and I've had a crush on you since. What I really want to tell you is that I love you a lot. Subin. During recess, I slipped the note in Ben's bag, but for some reason he got called to the principal's office in the last period. I kept wondering if he saw the letter, and when I got a reply the next day in my locker, I almost had a heart attack.
Dear Subin, I love you too. I was going to tell you, but I didn't have the courage. Let's meet at our spot tonight. I can't wait to kiss you. Ben.
It was like all my dreams were coming true. Wearing a new dress, I went to the park and waited for Ben. I was so excited and nervous. But suddenly I felt someone pull my hair and I landed on my butt. Haran!
Oh, a new dress for Ben! Ha ha ha! He ain't coming, sweetie. He showed us your letter and we're all in fits.
What? You're lying.
Oh no, I'm not. You really think he'd leave me for some poor beggar like you? In your dreams, girl.
Haran kicked me and suddenly I saw red and I pounced on her. But her friends got me off of her and then they all ripped my beautiful dress. I felt so furious that I punched Haran square in the jaw. What happened next was a disaster. Haran called her mom and made up a whole story about how I attacked her for no reason, and her mom made a case of assault against me and actually sent me to juvie for 2 months. My dad was devastated, and so was I. Even worse, Ben never showed his face, not once. Coward! As soon as I got out, Dad and I left town. After weeks of interviews, Dad finally ended up finding a decent job, and I worked as a waitress too, while I studied in a community college. 4 years later, I graduated with a law degree at the top of my class. Luckily, I got hired by a law firm, and just a couple of years later, I became a junior partner. One day, I read a piece of news that filled me with joy. Haran's mom had been arrested for corruption during her time as mayor. The whole family was being publicly humiliated. They deserved it. Sometime later, my firm asked me to set up an office in my old town, and I was kinda glad to return. I wanted to show everyone what I'd made of myself. One day, I was busy doing some paperwork when Haran walked into my office asking me for a job.
Please, Subin, help me! No one in this town wants to hire me or my family for anything. I know I was mean to you.
Cruel, you were cruel to me.
Yes, cruel and terrible. Please, please forgive me.
After Haran begged for a job for days, I finally let her be my personal assistant. And she had to do literally everything I asked. I really made her suffer for a while. It was fun, but then it wasn't. Seeing her qualifications, I gave her a higher position.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Thank you. And this means you've forgiven me?
No, not really, but I'm trying to be a better person, better than people were to me.
Subin, I never wanted things to go so far with you going to juvie and everything. Mom just got carried away. I'm really, really sorry.
After that day, Haran was always nice to me, and so was I. I just didn't want to hold grudges. But one day, as I was walking out of a coffee shop, I bumped into a guy. It was Ben.
Oh my God, Subin, I've missed you. We need to talk.
Suddenly, the memory of him giving my letter to Haran came rushing back. No, stay away from me! But the next day, there were tons of roses in my office and a note from Ben telling me how he wanted to meet at our spot. What a jerk. But this kept happening every day for a week. One day, I got so frustrated that I started throwing them out the window. But Haran stopped me.
Subin, I need to tell you something, and it's gonna make you hate me even more. But I have to. Ben is completely innocent.
What are you talking about?
Ben never got your letter. I stole it from his bag, and I lied that he showed it to me. I made all of that up, and he never showed up to see you because, well, he'll tell you everything. And again, I'm terribly sorry.
I drove to our spot in the park and saw Ben sitting on a bench. And I gave him a chance to explain. Turns out the day I put the letter in his bag, Ben got the news that his mom had suddenly gotten much sicker, and he flew to France with her for some treatment. He stayed there the next 3 months, and he said he called my place and wrote me letters, but he never got a reply. And when he returned, I'd already left town.
I looked for you a lot, but I had no idea where you were or why you'd left without a word, till Haran reached out to me some weeks ago and explained everything she did.
She just told me everything, too. I'm so sorry about your mom. I'm sorry I left without giving you a chance to even explain.
It's all in the past. There's only one thing I need to say to you now, Subin. The thing is, I've always...
Loved me?
Yes!
I've always loved you too, Ben, since forever.
Hi, I'm Layla from Washington, and I have a really personal story to share today. But before I do, please like and subscribe. My mom gave birth to identical twin daughters, me and my sister Elise. So, of course, my parents dressed us in the same clothes and braided our hair with matching ribbons. But people could easily tell us apart for one reason. Elise was born with a minor facial distortion. Her eyes were a little lopsided, and her mouth was almost as low as her chin. I, on the other hand, looked like a freaking porcelain doll. And everywhere we went, people would ooh and ah at me. She's just too lovely to be real.
Wow, look at those brown eyes.
I have the same color eyes.
But everyone ignored Elise, and it really got to her. I kept telling her she was just as pretty as me, but she wouldn't hear a word of it. And as years passed, my sister grew to hate me. Elise did everything she could to make me feel as sad and angry as she felt. She'd spread rumors about me at school, steal my diary, and once she'd tried to shave off my eyebrows. I was living in fear, 24/7. Worst of all, my parents didn't take it that seriously.
I'll take away her electronics for a week.
That's not enough, Dad. Elise is trying to ruin my life. What if she tries to seriously hurt me?
Oh, Layla, that's silly. Elise is just going through a phase and we would never let her harm you.
They didn't understand. And when I turned 14, things really turned upside down. One afternoon, I came home from school to find Elise in the living room with my parents, and and they looked furious with me.
How could you do something like that, Layla?
What are you talking about?
Elise said you locked her in the closet for an hour. We heard her calling for us.
What? Just then, I saw Elise, and she was smirking at me.
I just don't think I feel safe around Layla anymore, Mommy. How can I trust her after what she did?
Guys, she's framing me. She locked herself up in the closet.
And why would she do that? That's just twisted, Layla.
Didn't my parents see how crazy Elise was? Not one of them talked to me that night. They all watched Luna Avatar with a bowl of popcorn while I stayed in my room. But the next morning, my parents did the unthinkable. They made me move into the guest house.
It was Elise's idea. You two need space away from each other. We can't have this negativity in the house.
So you're kicking me out? What, because I trapped her in the closet? I told you guys I didn't do it.
It doesn't matter who did it. The point is, you two are toxic for each other right now. And at the moment, Elise needs our attention more than you do. You have more friends and the world at your fingertips. It's just for a short time, Layla.
I was speechless. I was being punished for literally nothing, and it was all Elise's fault. I moved into our guest house that evening and didn't speak to any of my family members. In fact, I continued to ignore them for the next several months. Sure, it was clear Elise was much happier without me in the house. She made more friends and even picked up a few hobbies. But I was still bubbling with anger. One day, I was coming out of the supermarket when I saw a homeless boy outside with dyed turquoise hair. I immediately pulled out a bag of bananas and some change, but he just laughed.
Whoa, do I look like a beggar?
If I'm being honest,
These clothes are just really old.
I still insisted that he keep the bananas, and the two of us ended up having lunch together. I found out the boy's name was Easton, and he lived in an apartment down the block. He was also an absolute sweetheart. I told Easton all about my home situation and Elise's issues with me, and he had a brilliant idea.
Pretend to run away from home, leave at midnight, and leave a note. Turn off the location services on your phone, and you can stay at my place. They'll get so scared they'll beg you to move back in with them. They might even finally punish your jerk sister.
I was sold. My whole family deserved a little scare, so that night, I sent a text to both my parents to tell them my plans and switched my location to private. I spent the next 2 nights at Easton's apartment. His family was really poor, and I had to sleep on a torn cot, but I felt fantastic. My parents were probably going crazy.
Maybe they think you joined a gang.
Or they think I'm pregnant and ran off to get married. Unfortunately, the fun didn't last long. The next morning, my parents burst into Easton's apartment with several cops. They hugged me and cried for a moment, but then they were furious.
Why would you scare us like this? We had no idea what was going on.
Sorry, but you kicked me out for no reason, and then neglected me for 6 months. I needed to teach you a lesson.
Teach us a lesson? Layla, we know the living situation isn't perfect, and we know we haven't been giving you as much attention, but just disappearing like you did. That's crazy behavior. Come with us right this second.
After that, Mom let me move back into the house, but she watched me like a dog. Elise even suggested I shouldn't leave home without her escorting me, and my parents agreed. Luckily, I could still hang out with Easton, who was the only person who seemed to care about me, and it turned out we'd even be going to the same high school next month. On my first day of 9th grade, I was in gym class when Easton started jogging next to me.
Whoa there, you look ready to faint. Here, take some of my water.
Oh God, is it that obvious?
Don't worry, you still look lovely, even though you're drenched in sweat.
Easton smiled at me as I drank from his water, and I felt a little weak in the knees, and not just because I was tired. I saw Elise glare at me as she jogged by, but I didn't care. As months passed, Easton and I just got closer, and whenever Elise was mean, he always defended me.
You can make fun of Layla's dress all you want, but she's the one who got a party invitation, and you didn't.
Secretly, I had the biggest crush on Easton, but I was way too chicken to ever tell him. I was just grateful to have a best friend. It was exhausting living with a bully 24/7. Then, one day, when I came home from school, my parents gave me shocking news. They'd found a plastic surgeon to fix Elise's facial distortion. They couldn't completely get rid of it, but I'd never seen my sister so happy.
I felt so ugly my whole life, Layla. I know it sounds shallow, but I can't wait to be as beautiful as you.
Elise, look at me. You've never been ugly. But if getting this surgery makes you feel more confident, Then I support you. Elise started to cry then and hugged me. I stayed with her in the surgery room the entire time, and she even apologized for how she treated me. And I was glad. I was ready to give up our crazy fighting. After Elise's surgery, things changed between us. Elise didn't seem jealous of me anymore, and even started hanging out with me and Easton. Then, one day, I walked into my front yard and almost had a heart attack. Elise was kissing Easton. Hey, does someone want to tell me what's going on here?
Well...
Layla, I've been meaning to tell you. Easton and I like each other, and I asked him out.
I felt like I was gonna throw up. I pulled Elise aside angrily. How could you do this to me? Elise, I love him and you know it.
I know you love him, and I'm sorry. But I've been hanging out with Easton for a couple of weeks, and we have a connection.
How could you do this to me? Elise, I love him and you know it.
Layla, I'm not trying to hurt you. I really like Easton, and I just want to be happy for once.
I can't take this anymore. You made me miserable for 14 years, and then got me kicked out of my own house and convinced Mom to basically ground me for 24/7. This is the last straw. I stormed off and blocked Easton on all social media. He kept calling me to apologize and tell me that him dating Elise wouldn't change our friendship, but I refused to speak to him. The next day at school, I decided it was time for overdue revenge. The first thing I did was attach a bucket of paint to the cafeteria doorway, and when Elise walked in with Easton, pink splashed all over them. Everyone laughed like crazy, and I felt great. I got suspended for a day, but it was worth it, and I didn't stop there. That entire month, I pulled every prank I could think of on them at school, putting spiders in their locker and gluing their butts to the classroom chairs. I felt guilty for being a jerk, but Elise deserved it, didn't she? And Easton was dating my sister, who bullied me my whole life. Then one day, I was studying in the courtyard when Easton walked over to me, and he looked furious.
I've had it with you, Layla. Your jealousy has turned you insane. All the kids at school now are terrified of you.
What do you mean? I've done nothing to anyone, except you and Elise.
Really? Because the bucket of paint from your prank got all over the cafeteria floor, and one kid tripped and sprained his ankle. I'm sorry you're hurt about me dating Elise, but it happened organically. Our feelings for each other had nothing to do with you. I know you're hurt, but don't become a bully because of it.
Easton walked off, and I thought about what he said. Maybe Elise wasn't trying to hurt me, and her falling for Easton was just a coincidence. Maybe I could just be happy for her. So that week, I did everything I could to make things right with people. I volunteered to help as many kids as I could with homework, and they'd know I wasn't a monster. And I apologized to Elise and Easton, and surprisingly, they forgave me. On Friday night, Elise and Easton were celebrating their 1-month anniversary at the beach. So I told Elise I'd deliver them a picnic basket. But when I got there, Elise was sitting alone in the sand, and she was crying. Hey, what's wrong? Where's Easton?
He's not here, Layla. He's not coming.
Did you guys break up?
No, because we never dated. It was all fake. I even paid Easton monthly and used up all my savings. I wanted to make you jealous.
Wait, what? I don't understand.
I thought that after my surgery, people would start treating me differently because my face looked better. I thought I'd finally get as much attention as you. But because my distortion isn't totally fixed, I didn't. And that made me angry. But I can't do this to you anymore. I feel horrible.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Elise kept apologizing, but I couldn't even look at her. I didn't want revenge. I just didn't want to deal with her anymore. Things completely changed between us after that. My sister and I both cut contact with Easton and became strangers to each other. It broke my heart, but I didn't know what else to do. We were toxic for each other. Before we knew it, high school ended, and we both went our separate ways. A couple of years later, I was walking around my university campus when I got a phone call.
Layla, it's Easton. I know we haven't spoken in years, but I need your help. My parents lost their house and are homeless. I'm doing everything I can to help them, but I'm desperate. I'm calling everyone I know for either money or food.
My stomach was in knots. I still hated Easton for what he did, but he was obviously in a crisis. So I bought a bunch of food and clothes and arrived at the homeless shelter.
God, you're an angel. I can't thank you enough.
I'm not doing this for you. It's for your parents. And I never want to see you after this. Do you understand?
Yes, what I did to you was unforgivable. Can I just tell you one thing? I never wanted to go through with Elise's fake dating plan. The only reason I agreed to it was because my family's been struggling since I was a kid. I was always terrified we'd end up living on the streets. It's still no excuse, especially because I was in love with you.
My head started spinning. I had no idea Easton had been suffering that much, and I had no idea that he loved me. I decided it was time to smooth things over. That night, I went right home and convinced my parents to give Easton's family a loan, and then I asked if they could invite Elise for dinner.
Oh, sweetie, that's a wonderful idea. She's doing well these days, but she talks about you a lot.
For some reason, I was happy to hear that. When Elise came over, she immediately ran to hug me.
Layla, I'm so glad you're here. Actually, I got you some presents.
Elise handed me a huge gift bag, and to my shock, she bought me all kinds of expensive presents. Perfume, jewelry, and even a brand new iPad.
None of this makes up for how I've treated you over the years. But I love you, Layla. And if you ever want to have a relationship, I'm here.
Thanks, Elise. That means a lot. You did really hurt me. But it has been a couple of years. I can't forgive you overnight. But this is a good start.
I also know you got in touch with Easton. If you ever want to date him, you have my blessing. It's a possibility. But
first, I want to make things right with you. Though, of course, Elise invited Easton over later and left us alone on our porch.
I'm really glad you and Elise made up. Do you think you can ever forgive me? Layla, I never really got over you.
Wow, I didn't know that. But it will take me some time to trust you again.
I understand that. I'm willing to wait as long as it takes.
Hi, I'm Wendy from Sweden, and my story is really crazy. But before I begin, please like and subscribe. I lived in a creepy old house with my parents. It used to belong to my grandma, who was a very odd woman. She studied mysterious races in the world and brought back crates full of strange outfits and creepy items. And most people around thought our house was haunted.
Walk faster, a ghost girl will catch you!
Just then, I leapt out from behind a bush wearing a scary mask. I was just trying to be funny, but people thought I was the weird girl who lived in the scary house, and no one wanted to be my friend. And my parents never had much time for me either because they were always working.
This old house is a money pit. I need to work 2 jobs to keep it.
Please go to your room, Wendy. I'm in a meeting.
I wanted to help out, so I started giving ghost tours of the property. When my parents were away, I loved telling made-up stories about the freaky things I'd seen around the house. I even made up a murder or 2 and sold Mom's dresses with ketchup stains as souvenirs. I made a killing on Halloween, but when Mom and Dad found out, they were furious.
What's wrong with you, Wendy? Why can't you be sweet and well-behaved like other kids?
They took all my money and I was grounded for a month. I was so lonely and wished I had a sibling to play with. Then one day, when I was 12, I got the biggest surprise of my life. I went looking for a snack in the kitchen when I found a thin, pale boy my age instead.
Who are you and what are you doing in our pantry?
I'm Felix, your brother. Didn't your parents tell you they were adopting me?
What the flip? My parents had adopted a whole human and hadn't even bothered to tell me.
Typical!
I don't believe you. What proof do you have?
He waved some official-looking papers in my face. They looked legit.
My parents might have adopted you, but you still need to pass a few tests if you want to be my brother.
Bring it on!
We stood on our heads to see who could do it the longest, ate the worst carrot for lunch. And for the final task, we caught the fattest, slimiest fish and balanced them on our heads while we stood on one leg on the fence. Felix was great at it all.
Congratulations! You are officially my brother!
I was over the moon to finally have someone to play with, but my parents had to ruin that too.
You can't play with Felix anymore.
Why not? Didn't you adopt him so I'd have company? We've decided it isn't a good idea. You can't play with him, and that's that. But why?
Because we said so, and we're sending him away.
It was so unfair.
I felt angrier than I'd ever felt before, and I smashed the toy I was playing with into the wall. But suddenly I felt dizzy, and moments later, I blacked out. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed with a bald doctor and my worried-looking parents next to me.
Wendy's blood pressure shot up suddenly and she fainted. She's fine for now, but try to keep her as calm as possible. I'd also suggest you homeschool her for now.
Mom and Dad took me home. They were being very nice to me, which was suspicious. Now they said I could play with Felix as much as I wanted, but when I ran to his room to tell him the good news, he was glaring at me angrily.
What's wrong? Aren't you happy we can be friends again?
Friends? I just found out that your parents did not adopt me because they wanted to love me or give me a nice home. They just brought me here for you, like I'm some kind of toy. And they might just send me away at any time. I hate you, and I'm gonna make your parents hate you too. They'll realize they're better off having me as a kid. Trust me, I'm not going anywhere.
Felix, don't be like that. I've always wanted a brother.
I'm not your brother.
I was both angry and heartbroken by his changed attitude. But I hoped he'd change over time, but it was the complete opposite. Felix kept messing with my parents. He dropped the pearl earrings I borrowed from Mum down the drain, smashed Dad's laptop, and put dye in their body wash. They had shocking pink skin for weeks. And somehow my parents were always upset with me and thought I was acting out. They never seemed convinced when I said it was all Felix. Was he really turning my parents against me?
Stop being a jerk. These things cost money, and Mom and Dad work really hard, and stop making them think I'm doing all this.
Then just give up and go away yourself. There's only space for one of us here.
I'm not going anywhere, pal.
But then, the most terrible thing happened. A few days after my 13th birthday, we were visited by some people from the museum. They wanted to use Grandma's outfits and creepy items for a display, and they said they'd pay us a lot of money if we allowed them to borrow it for a few weeks. Mom and Dad were over the moon that the dirty junk around the house was worth something.
We can buy a new car and replace the laptop Wendy trashed.
We can pay off the mortgage and finally be debt-free.
This could change our lives for the better. But minutes before the people from the museum arrived to collect the things, I heard a huge crash from the basement. I went running to see all the things smashed and broken on the floor, and Felix standing in the middle with a stick!
Oops! I'm so sorry, I was just looking at them.
This time he had gone too far. I slapped him hard!
You did that on purpose, you jerk!
Just then, my parents came running in and looked at the mess in horror, and then they looked at me like I was the crazy one.
Why are you looking at me like I did this? He's ruined everything, and you're still gonna have him around. Why don't you send him away?
You want us to send your brother away? You got so upset before.
I was wrong about him, okay? He's not my brother. He's crazy, and he's dangerous.
Mom and Dad exchanged a weird long glance and nodded.
Fine. We'll send him to a special facility so he can get better.
That night, I locked my door, but I could still hear Felix screaming and crying in his room. The next day, he was gone. Mum and Dad looked sad and broken. They tried to be nice to me, but I saw right through them. They were sad because Felix had left, and I could never make them happy. In the fall, the doctor said it would be good for me to restart regular high school. Things were going really well on my first day until...
Hey, watch out! It's a ghost girl! I'm so scared!
Dude, grow up!
That wasn't all. In my very first class, I met the most bonkers girl.
I heard you were the ghost girl.
What's it to you?
I'm Tara. I just moved here from Ireland. Is it true your house is haunted? I'd love to meet a real-life ghost. I've dreamed of it my whole life.
Are you nuts? Who has creepy dreams like that?
You haven't read Dead Love Doesn't Die. It's the most romantic book ever. Are there handsome ghosts in your house? Are they single?
Girl, you need help!
No! I need a ghostly boyfriend with ice-cold lips and dreamy eyes who can transport me to his time and give me 1,000,000 ghostly kisses. And he'll
Was
take
there something
me away
wrong
to...
with me? First Felix and now Tara? Was I a weirdo magnet? For the next few weeks, she stuck to me like glue. At first, I acted indifferent because I wasn't sure she'd even stick around for too long. But she did. And I slowly started to enjoy having a friend.
Ha! Look, there's Ghost Girl and her vampire girlfriend. What, in the twilight?
Tara hissed and bit the jerk on his arm.
You're absolutely crazy.
Hey, no one messes with my friend. Yuck! He tasted disgusting. Let's go get candy.
How about I make you a sandwich at my place?
You mean it?
Tara instantly fell in love with the place.
This place is fantastic. Can you imagine the paranormal romances that could take place here?
I just laughed and went to the kitchen to get the sandwiches. But there was already someone in there.
Felix, what are you doing here?
I'm back. Of course, Mom and Dad didn't tell you. You would have forced them to keep me away.
It would be for their own good after the mess you made last time. What kind of facility allows home visits?
Ha! I'm not at a facility. They sent me on vacation to Bali to prove how much they loved me and wanted me in the family. I'm back now, and I'll make sure you end up in the facility soon.
I couldn't believe this was happening. I made some excuse and sent Tara home before Felix did something to her. When my parents got home, I confronted them.
You lied to me. He's dangerous and out to get me, but you still allowed him in our home.
Mom started to cry, and Dad glared at me.
You're upsetting your mother, Wendy. How long will this go on?
You don't even care that I'm upset too? You guys are the most selfish parents ever. I'm going to stay at my friend's house because I don't feel safe here.
You can't leave. We should call the doctor. I told you we shouldn't have sent her back to school.
Dad locked me in my room. I could hear Felix laughing under my door. He was evil. I had to get out of here. I called Tara and told her what was up. Within minutes, she was outside my window.
Come on, ghost girl. Let's get you to safety.
Tara's house was so normal. It was awesome. She pulled out a mattress for me to sleep in her room, then brushed my hair to calm me down as I told her everything.
Wow, your parents sound like a piece of work. And I finally get why you're so weird about being friends.
I can't trust anyone. My parents ignored me for so long and thought things would be different for me once Felix came. But he's the worst, and ever since he came, my parents treat me like I'm some lunatic. When he's the crazy one, he really scares me.
Don't worry. You're safe here. I'll punch his lights out if he tries to mess with you.
Suddenly I heard a loud tap on the window and he was standing outside. I screamed and jumped up.
It's him! Felix is here!
He was holding rocks in his hand and wore the evilest grin.
Where? I don't see anything.
Felix threw the first rock. It slammed against the window hard, leaving a deep crack.
Are you blind? He's right there!
Wendy, are you sure you don't, see ghosts or something? Because I can't see anyone.
Didn't you hear the rock hit the window? Look, it's left a crack!
What are you talking about?
What?
Why was Tara suddenly lying to me? Suddenly the door slammed open and my parents were standing there looking worried.
How did you find me? Did you tell them I was here? Tara, I thought you were my friend.
No, Wendy. Tara didn't tell us. We saw you sneaking out of the house and followed you. Let's go home.
No, you're just going to lock me up in my room again. What's going on? Tara says she can't see Felix. Is she lying or am I crazy?
The saddest look crossed my mom's face, and she broke down crying and hugged me.
No, Wendy. You're not crazy.
That's when they told me how they'd never adopted a boy named Felix.
We thought he was just a harmless, imaginary friend. But when you started seeing him all the time, we tried to stop it by saying we'd send him away.
The doctor said you had created Felix to help with your feelings of being alone, and we should play along, so we agreed. But then you started acting out and blaming it on Felix.
We were so glad when you finally sent him away yourself. We thought things were going to be okay now. But then you said you saw him again, and
We just can't see you like this, sweetie, and it's all our fault. We should have given you more time when you were a kid.
I was in utter shock.
So everything Felix did, the earrings, the laptop, the items.
It was all you, but we weren't mad about any of it. We were just worried about you.
But if Felix was the friend I made up, why was he suddenly so mean to me?
Your doctor said you suffered from low self-esteem. In your mind, no one wants to be friends with you for long.
Are you real? Can you guys see Tara?
I could pinch you!
Ouch. Okay, you're real.
Don't worry, dear. We talked to your doctor, and he says we can start therapy sessions now. You'll be fine.
And we'll be with you all the way.
Me too!
They all took me in a big bear hug, and suddenly I didn't feel alone at all.